Hi, let's look at the options Neo4j Bloom offers a user to explore their graph. Here we are looking at an Olympics dataset, which has information on athletes, events, and games held in many different cities over a lot of years. I'm going to explore tennis. It's one of my favorite sports. So if I type in tennis, I get a bunch of different event options, the things in purple. So I'm going to pick tennis men's singles. That gives me a single node back because that's just one event, and maybe it has occurred over very many different games. So we can take a look. So if I right click on this node, it gives me a bunch of different options, including a way to expand around this node. And there are about 309 other nodes that I can expand to. And so here you can see that there are 309 nodes that came back, a total of 310, including my previous one. And by the color, these are all teams that have participated in this particular event, tennis men's singles. So if I select, let's say, a small area of this particular visualization, and I'm just, let's say, interested to explore what's going on here, I can just, as you saw me select, let me do this again. I press my mouse and just hold it a second before I start dragging it, and that allows me to select. If I was to just click and drag, that is basically panning the graph. So I'm going to select a few of these nodes here, and to see what those are, I can either right click and fit to selection, or I could also have just press Command F as a keyboard shortcut. And if I want to go back, I can press Command A and select everything, and press Command F again and fit to selection one more time. Now if I wanted to see if these teams competed in the same game or across different games, one way to do that is to go up here to the search bar, and I can type in team. So basically, I'm looking for tennis, the tennis node for men's singles connected to a team, and then connect that to a game in which the team participated. So if I was to just do this, that's effectively the same thing as what I'm already visualizing. So I have to build further. So now I can go pick games, and Bloom tells me that this is the pattern. This is one of the matching patterns, which is the one I want. So here the visualization is quickly rearranging itself, and now I can see that there are some red nodes appearing here, and these are games. So maybe now I'm not interested in the teams themselves, but just the games in which tennis was played, singles tennis. So what I could do is essentially click on all the teams. So I can use my legend to select that, and then right click and dismiss all these nodes. I'm not interested in them anymore. And then obviously I can pan and zoom and find out what these nodes are. Or I could also just say, maybe I'm interested in whether tennis was played in London. So if I just type in London, and I have a bunch of different choices, London in 1948 or 2012, let's pick 2012. And that allows me to focus in if London is already present on the canvas. And there we are, London is already here. Of course, if I zoom out, I can go back and look at some of the other ones, Beijing and so on. But because London is already selected, and let's say my exploration track changes now. So instead of focusing on tennis men's singles for London, or for other teams and other games, I want to focus on London. So what I can do is basically right click on London and say dismiss everything else that's on the canvas, and then center to London based on just one node being available here. And now I'm shifting gears. So now my interest is to see if London, if there are particular players that I'm interested in, if they've competed in London. So continuing on the theme of tennis, Roger Federer is one of my favorite players. I'm going to just go ahead and select that, and Roger Federer appears in the canvas. And now I have these two things selected, but there's no connection between them. And one of the ways I can find those connections, instead of trying to type in the pattern, and let's say if I don't know the pattern, I don't know what connections exist between these two nodes, I can select these two and right click and say, now find me the shortest path between these two. And so there is a path, and the path goes through this particular team. And if I wanted to then see, okay, Roger Federer competed in London 2012 as part of a team. Let's find out everything else that there is to find about this team. So I'm just going to select the team, which is the single node on the screen. I could, of course, also have selected it right from here. And then let me expand the 4 nodes around the team and see what else I can find. So this team competed in tennis men's singles, which was the original event I was searching for. Roger Federer was part of the team. They participated in London 2012. They're from Switzerland. And then they also happened to win a silver medal in that game. And so that's, I guess, one way that you can go about exploring your data with Neo4j Bloom.